Welcome to the adventures of Rick, the reluctant thrifter, here on Tuesday night at Two Dogs Digs. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us here on a Tuesday night for one of our live shows. Today, we're focusing on my other half. I'm the OG doggy, as you can see in there. And we've got joining us Rick the Reluctant. So we're going to go through a little bit of the history of me dragging Rick's butt around for a number of years, to the point where he's actually now, I think, a bit of a happy thrifter. I think. I mean, every once in a while, I end up dealing with something like this. Like today, he found this lovely scepter and started pretending he was Elphaba and trying to turn me somehow with Galinda's thing. I don't know. Right? You just were like, you're wicked dragging me around today. Although our wicked sounds a lot more like the Carol Burnett Tarzan yell than it's the actual wicked.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't hit that note when I haven't had my coffee.
I can't hit that note after the castrata took it away from us. No.
Every time when we're in the car, I can hit some fantastically high notes.
Yeah. Fantastically high. Well, fantastic.
Occasionally I get the vibrato just right.
Sometimes you do.
And then I faint.
In the car. Big thanks to everybody who's joining us here for our Tuesday Night Live. Thank you so much for being a part of our reselling adventures, and hopefully we'll help to keep you putting the F for
fun and thrift, because without the F, it's just
thrift. It's just thrifting, and nobody likes to just thrift. Big thanks to everybody who is a member of our Kennel Club. We're going to be posting a video actually shortly on that, and for our Kennel Club members. Thank you, RM Gams, for becoming a YouTube member. Thanks for joining us here. And hello to all of our other friends. You'll see a little icon beside their names, like Janet and Diana and Michael and Lisa and Kathy and Heather. They're all folks who support us here at the Kennel Club for $3 a month. And hopefully we're giving you at least $3 worth of ideas for ways to fix your to help you with all your adventures. A big hello also to Elisa and Joel and Kendra and Lisa from snowy Winnipeg. I said Heather, but Heather and Bob. Hello, Bob. It's interesting because Heather, they turned off their eBay for now until they sell their house. I was just going to say, Heather and Bob are selling their house. So they're doing the big thing, the downsizing. They're talking to estate sale people about getting rid of it because they were big eBayers. So to do a downsizing is huge. So that's something that they're working on right now.
Heather even mentioned that Bob had thrown stuff into the back of the car to donate, and she didn't look at it.
Yeah.
Like, so just let it
go. And good luck on the sale for you.
Yes.
Hey, Marianne. And let's see. What do we got in here? We got Kevin. Oh, I got that right. There we go. Sherry's here. Paul. I don't want to miss anybody. Hydran, hello. Mr. Carl. Sam Chop. Good evening. And let's see. Nellie. Hey, Nellie. So today we're here talking about the reluctant Rick the reluctant thrifter. I got to go back to this image because it's just so.
That's me without coffee.
Now, I will say he's holding my stuff, except
the lamp is mine.
The lamp was his. So he actually did pick this up while we were there. There it is. He found this sort of MCM lamp.
It was dirty.
Yeah. And that's also, you can just kind of see in the corner there, that I think is the lucite candlestick.
Yes.
That he showed last week. I think he showed that, Rick.
Yeah, I've got them behind me over here. I can grab them if you want me to.
You sort of see right in the corner by him.
I'll grab it.
Here we go. I'll just flip to you and flip big. So we actually...
Here it is.
Have listed that. And I think, what did you list that at, Rick?
300?
Yeah.
I picked a comparable price because...
comparable price.
I like to price my stuff on the high end. As Craig will tell you, I'm very aggressive with my pricing. but it's worked for me in the past. So sometimes my aggressive pricing actually works out to our favor.
Yeah, and again, most of this stuff I've missed. That is a fabulous lamp, Diana says, and a lamp is hard to ship. Well, one of the things that you will notice in this show is that the guy who does the shipping is the guy picking up the worst
biggest things I can find
to ship. If I brought any of these things home, I would be in trouble. Probably. Like, I wouldn't be in trouble, but I would be like, it was like, we got trouble, my friends, right here at Two Dogs. I would be in trouble of him going, what the heck? Why did you break? And when I'm pricing it, because I had something the other day, I just had something, and I went, oh, I got to sell this. And he was looking at me going, because I had to make him help me figure out the shipping for it.
Yeah.
So,
$55.
It was, yeah, something that we listed that needed $55 in shipping. Very heavy. What was that, Rick? It was something heavy. Oh, it was the Harry Potter tree skirt.
Yes, the Harry Potter tree
yeah,
skirt.
From our profit pile. I was moving stuff around last week, and I found a Harry Potter tree skirt that we had for a couple of years. It's still in the sealed box.
I think you bought it the first year of lockdown.
I did. I bought it in 2020, so it's 4 years old now, and I bought it for like $15, and they sell for $250, and it was like, and we have two, but they're very big.
Actually, it uses the magic charger thing, or the cord,
but they're very large. They're very big in the box, so it's shipping, and it's like
2 feet by 2
feet oversized
by 6 inches box.
It's just, yeah, it's oversized. That's
so it goes as calculated weight or cubic weight. I think the box itself was 5 pounds, but it calculates to like 25 based on the size of the box.
So over the years, how has Rick been stuck with this? So I've been a reseller. I've been a buyer and a toy reseller for 30 plus years.
We used to do toy shows, and he'd drag me to toy shows, and I'd have to man the booth while he would go away. And I'd always sell things when he left the booth. We went to, what was it, the marketplace, Kensington Market.
So the man who has nothing to do with any of this.
We took a table. We had to get up at like 6:30 in the morning and cart all of this crap down there. And Craig left me at the table. I think he was still smoking at the time. So
I went for a smoke break.
And he'd come back, and 3 or 4 of the really bulky, ugly things would be gone. And where is that? I said, I sold it. Like there was a baby doll that it was disgusting.
Smelly.
It was smelly. It was
disgusting.
It was one of those dolls that was a composite doll, and there were pieces flaking off. And I convinced one lady that it was my grandmother's, and she loved it to bits. And I sold it to her for like $80.
Rick is magic.
Anyway.
Hey, Greg.
I was toying with her.
So that's just it. So we've done that, and for years, basically, as nice as I can say, he's been my Sherpa. So I dragged him for years down to the States, to Brimfield, Massachusetts, for the huge annual show. And we used to go garage sailing. I was allowed to drag him to 3 garage sales a summer. Yeah. And I had to make sure he had his coffee and everything. And literally, he'd sit in the car. He had a timer that he basically knew if I had been up a driveway or for more than 5 minutes, he had to get out, because that meant that there was something that we needed to look at. So this has been going for years.
Plus, when I was working full time, I had no patience for any of this reselling nonsense.
Initially, years, because the idea of
until the money started flowing in.
getting up Saturday morning at 6:30. It's like So and then we started going to estate sales. Now I've gone to a few by myself. Rick never did. He's been an amazing partner with this, working with me all the way back to like the 90s when we were doing Barbie shows. And he helped me set up.
I was the Barbie widow.
He called himself the Barbie widow. I dragged him to conventions.
Sign my T-shirt.
from that to helping like anything that needed to be done, he helped. He just didn't want to do any of the shopping, and he just like that was the basic thing. And so, and he wouldn't go to estate sales with me. And then finally, when we started going down to the States, and I drag him down there and say, "You got to go to one or two because I'm going to." He'd go to them, and then about I think this is going back 5 or 6 years.
2018.
It kind of kicked itself in. So this, and we're going to tell some little short stories on his history, but this is one of the things that sort of kicked everything into high gear.
Yes, this is a barn owl by a Scandinavian artist named Oiva Toika. We went to an estate sale. Craig was running through it. I saw this little guy sitting on a shelf in the basement behind a couch. The couch was sold. It was the only thing on the shelf. I thought, gee, that's really cute. I thought it was a sheep. I didn't notice the sticker. I didn't notice the signature. It was priced at $6, and it was half price day at the estate sale. So as we're walking out up to the table, I pull it out, and Craig is like, "Why the hell are you buying that?" I said, "Well, it's only $3, and I kind of like it. It's cute." You get it in the car. We get home, and I think we were doing one of our max sold pickups, and I was waiting for the pickup to start. And I took these pictures of the Oiva Toika, and I found out that it was signed, and I could read the signature Oiva Toika. So I went onto Facebook, and there was a group called Birds by Oiva Toika. And I posted in that group, "Hey, look at what I found at an estate sale for $3 or for $6. It was half price. So it was only $3. And I had all of the pictures in the listing or in the group post. And I got some great information back, and somebody in Japan fell in love with it and sent me an offer of $1,000 US.
Now understand, this was on the post that said, I just
paid $3 for this.
And he got a message saying, "Can I buy it from you for $1,000?"
So I talked to the group, the guy who created the group, just to say, is this a fair offer? Or am I leaving money on the table? And ultimately he said, it's a great offer. The Japanese collectors will pay up. In North America, you'd probably get about 800, 850. But the Japanese market, they'll pay $1,000. They'll pay $1,200. So $1,000, I would take the offer, which is what I did. So
yeah, included shit. We included air.
We included shipping
and everything.
Japan. They received it, and they couldn't have been more pleased.
So that was one thing in that summer. And then we go to another sale, and he finds this.
Oh my God, this is an amazing, it's a totem. And it is by an artist called Antonio De Rosa. He works for the Cetanese part of Murano. And again, I posted this to an art glass group, and I got a bully offer of $1,000 for it as well, but I'm not parting with it. So we paid, I think it was $45. And it was one of those, we're walking out of the sale, and I look and say, is that for sale, or how much is that? And the guy said, well, that's art glass, so it's $45. Other things at the sale were like $5, $4. So I said, sold, picked it up, put it in the car.
Now, luckily, I do not mind that, so it is on display in the house. But it's sort of like this. These were both in the same summer. That same summer, there were multiple things like this. This was like every weekend we would get to another that we went to an estate sale. Anytime we went to an estate sale, he would pick up things that I would completely pass by. And so this is where I know from osmosis. I made this popular. No, I know from osmosis, but not as popular as me, that he started looking at stuff. So some of the things that he's picked up in that summer, 2, not 1, 2 laser hair replacement systems.
I forgot about the eyebrows. One was in Vegas. The other was
Helmets,
at an estate sale that fall.
helmets you put on that have lasers in them to supposedly grow your hair. No, I did not try. I mean, I didn't. I wasn't. No, gave
I
up.
have a picture of you wearing it.
Yeah. Now, one of them was in the
Somewhere.
basement of some guy who was a salesperson for something, and it was literally in a box. And I think you paid like $1 for it.
Yep, that was at a Mario sale.
Yeah. Now, so he found other things, including what you cannot see. This is actually a recent find that you can barely see behind him. I forgot completely about Mr. Bum.
Oh,
You've got Mr. Bum
yes.
hanging up behind you.
Well, turn the camera off me, and
I'll turn the camera on me. So this was at sorry, I'm the wrong way around. This was at an estate sale we were at literally like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think it was the same weekend that we went to the sale of the Country Inn that we bought all this stuff at. And we went to this one house, and there really wasn't anything in this house. And we got down the stairs, and stuck in the furnace was this.
Sorry.
Mr. Bum. That's Mr. Bum. It's a bum. It's an original painting
A hobo.
of a hobo.
The artist is Jerry Gauger.
I don't know who Jerry Gauger is.
I don't know either.
But when we were there, it was like he picked it up and looked at it and went, look, it's Mr. Bum. And I said, oh, God, you're getting that, aren't you? He goes, I don't know what the price is. I said, go ahead and ask. And then I didn't see him for like
$2. $2.
Came downstairs again, and I was like, what happened to Mr. Bum? And he goes,
He's in the car. He was only $2.
He was $2. So he had
cute.
I don't know why Mr. Bum has a safety pin. I don't know. You should put that annoying photo of Craig on a t-shirt. Make him wear it when he annoys you. Heather's right. That is, 4 eyes are better than 2. And it's so much harder without Google Lens. And that's actually very true, Carl, because a lot of this stuff is pre-Google Lens. And we also have a tendency to be in estate sales and things like that are like, we go to estate sales that are in like the Adirondacks, in the middle of a mountain, that have
they're in the concrete bunker basements where there's
no cell service, none at all. So Gut is a lot of times we end up doing stuff with Gut, and Rick just happens to have a really good gut when it comes to this. Here's a couple of other things. Again, I wouldn't buy this.
Again, that we bought at an estate sale. It was priced at $40. We got it for $20. It's actually a katuchi. It's a giant sake bowl. It's about 10 inches tall, almost a foot across, and it does have inscriptions on the bottom that say it's from some temple in Japan, the Daiho Temple. We tried having it the bottom translated a couple of times, and no effect. But I did reach out to somebody online and found that the size of the bowl would mean that it's a ceremonial bowl. It was likely for some event like a wedding or some other gathering, and would have been presented to the family that was being celebrated at that gathering. It is handmade and it is lacquer. So
It's a sake bowl when you want to get smashed as fast as you can.
yes. You could also bathe an infant in it.
Oh, Michael was saying the Mr. Bum reminds him of those kids' toys, the magic wand and the iron pieces that would
Yeah, it actually does look a little like one of those.
Kind of looks like me too. At least I love the iron filling ball band magnet toys. But we still haven't listed this thing.
No, I don't. I kind of like it.
Okay. But we did list this thing.
Yes, the G. Armani crucifix. I paid $25 at a thrift store in the States, and it sold for $350.
I don't remember you paid that much. Was it that much?
Yeah, it was that much.
Sometimes we may be wrong with our pricing, but that's because we buy hundreds of things. and trying to remember the prices on some of them. We may be off on a little bit. So if you saw us say I'm talking about that in another show, and we said it was 20.
No, I found a picture with the price tag of $24.99 on it. So
okay, so that was one where he literally walked up to me.
Yeah, he had little chips on his toes.
Yeah, he had chipped
one
toes.
Of his foot.
He had a chipped toe, but that's where he walked up to me and like ran at me with it in the thrift store, like scaring me.
The power of Christ compels you.
And that's also the one where we got to the front cash desk and the women that were in front of us squealed that he was buying it because they had it and they put it down.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, my mother's going to love this.
And then there's other things. Like, he's just got a thing for bells. Two of his things, bells and brass.
I do. I love brass. I like bells. And we have sold brass bells like this nautical bell for really good money. When we had our antique booth, we had a Shakespearean doorbell that sold for $600 Canadian. And we picked it up for like $10 at a garage sale in the States.
So we have, I mean, you flip bells all the time. So
yep.
it's and the thing is, it's nice. Every time a bell rings, he gets his way. You buy little like baggies of them, like from the baggie wall. If you see a thing, we just actually a couple of weeks ago we picked up I think 2 or 3 bags that were little brass things. Some were bells, some were not.
Yeah, we've also sold a number of figural bells, and in a couple of them, the little clanger was actually feet. Like little ladies in dresses with feet for clangers.
You were a Buddhist monk in a previous life.
Well, maybe.
I mean, I know with that bell he just showed you, like that big one there, he literally, it's like he gets giddy when he rings it because it was just like.
Oh, the tone of this is fantastic.
Oh God, Mary's going to start doing that again. So let's go on to some
other
things.
Up tomorrow.
This is stuff that he's found in the past month or so. So this is when I'm dragging him now on. He's made me a promise because see, I gotta first make sure everybody understands sort of where this is coming from. Is he made me a promise at the beginning of 2024 that he was going to go thrifting with me every week on Friday, like once a week, no matter what. He was going to join me on our thrift adventures. If we went to the US for one or went out on like a road trip, that would count. But otherwise, it was like at least at minimum of once every week. And if he was in a good mood, then more than that. Cut to.
I'm rarely in a good mood.
Cut to the end of the summer. Well, we didn't go to the States hardly at all. We went in May once and June once, and then didn't go again until September when I made him go to Brimfield. And I said to him finally in October, you are not fulfilling your marital duty.
Yes, I've fallen down.
You are not fulfilling your promise. And just by the way, we're 38 years together on New Year's Eve. So we'll be 38 years together. So again, our bickering and everything like that, it's just, that's how we do things. That's how we can communicate it.
We don't take each other that seriously. So if he tells me to F off, it's like, you too.
Well, no, today we were in the car on the way back and I said something to him and he went, right, bitch. And I went, did you just say right, bitch? And he goes, why would I ever say that? He denied saying it. So I was like, anyway. So I finally said to him in October, beginning of October, early mid-October, you are going to go thrifting with me now. Every Tuesday, I go out for Seniors Day, and you're coming. And so he's actually been finding some really neat things. And a number of things that he's been finding over the past, like, month and a half or so, it's stuff that I haven't even seen. I've walked right by. Like, there's a number of things where he's actually picked them up after sometimes I picked it up and put it down and I went, or I saw it and I didn't think about it. And so he's just really doing a lot more interesting sort of looking.
I'm like a magpie.
He still does the things that I get frustrated with, which he'll fill the cart up and go, look what I got. And then I'll ask him if he looked
at it. Did you look it up?
No, he hasn't looked any of it up. It is kind of like watching a grumpy old man version of Romeo and Juliet with less murder.
How do you know there's less murder? Oh, actual murder? No. Mental murder? All the time.
So we're going to show you some of the stuff that he's found in the past 3 to 4 weeks that is, again, it's stuff that I'm just like, you've seen a couple of things, like that lucite candelabra. That was just like 2 weeks ago. We've shown you a couple of other things, that amazing brass candlestick that he had, the single candlestick that he wished he could find 2 of. That was just a short time ago. This is one that he's even started wandering the baggy wall. And this was one of his baggy wall finds. And I didn't even, like, so I didn't see this, but you can see this is on the baggy wall. And he's taking a look at this. I don't know even if I would have looked at this, because it's kind of like I don't see what he saw. So first off, before we show what's in it, Rick, what is it that you saw?
I saw the vice grips, and then I looked inside and further saw, yeah, they're on the very left edge. The silver thing on the left. This? No, outside of the bar.
Oh, is that part of the bar?
Those are vice grips. That's part of the bag.
Oh, I didn't even see those were in the bag.
But if you kind of slide over and look at, there are some smaller tools inside the sort of salmon-colored plastic sleeve. It's like, oh, those are kind of neat screwdrivers. Those are for repairing fiddly things like eyeglasses and things with really tiny screws. And then, oh my God, right next to it. Is that what I think it is?
Mechanical pencil.
No. Zoom in a little bit and look at what is under the fold of the plastic. You can barely see the outline of, it's like an oblong sort of, there it is. Those are the contents of that little plastic sleeve. And the eyeglass screwdrivers are great. We always need to have those tiny little screwdrivers because we do a lot of stuff with things that have tiny little screws. But the true star of this particular lot is this Carl Schleiper knife.
Who would even think about looking for that?
Now, I remember seeing Carl Schleiper knives online somewhere in the past few years, and I thought, I think I'm going to get this bag, even though it's $7.99. I know the vice grips are good and the other screwdrivers are good. We can actually use those, but this knife is going to be something that I think will sell easily and sell well.
That's the knife, or a version of the knife, and there it is.
It's just a little cleaned up.
Yeah, that, and there are others sold. We're just trying to give you an example on something like that. This is something that he found. It's actually got 4 watchers to it as well. But again, that's that kind of thing that it's like I didn't even think about looking at, and he grabbed. Now, again, we say he's got this thing about bees, right? So it's brass and it's bells. And something that'll come up later. But this is another one of his bees, part in the brass.
Yes.
He found these. They're not bells.
No, they're not bells. But they're kind of cute. They're a little bit discolored inside. But on the outside, they're actually pretty clean. And I know that these are mid-century. I always pick up brass mid-century candle holders, and Craig should be able to show you.
Lisa said, where is the point part of the knife buried inside? It's like
tucked inside. It's a folding knife, so knife, or a pocket knife. Yes.
Hey, Holly. Hello, Holly. So these are,
woo!
And this is when he talks about mid-century. That is an Etsy listing right now.
Yeah, and it's the same candlestick. If you go through the pictures, you can actually see the same hollow on the top. And their listing doesn't actually show the bottom, but one of their candles actually has a little bit of an imperfection at the very bottom edge. So if they're asking $400 for 3 of them, I'm going to list these for like 95, maybe 125.
And so the nice thing is,
and see if they sell.
like we always say, the nice thing is you look at using crossless magic. The great thing about using crossless magic, and you can look at our links to see how it works, and you use Two Dogs Digs as your code, is when you find somebody else's listing that you want to try and use for yours, you can do that. There's that little blue thing. If I click on this, I make sure I'm cross-listing to my Etsy store. There we go. And I click on this, I'm now duplicating their listing for me on Etsy. It's a physical item. It was made by another company. It's a finished product. And we believe it's made probably in the 70s. I go continue. And then all I have to do, I'm leaving everything in here. What I normally do with this right off the bat is I delete every photo that's there. And I have a specific photo that I actually can pop in there just to say, here's a photo. That's not it, but that works. I apply that, and then I leave their description and everything for us, since we know it's there. Then I have to put in a couple of things. I have to put in the category. So in this case, this is candlestick, candle container. So we'll put that in there. I also have to put in my shipping, which I have a couple of different shipping things set. I'll create my option, which is always using something with over $35, and then I'll save that as the draft. So again, this is what I love about that, is now it is sitting there in my drafts. It's going to show up there at some point. I just have to refresh them. But it's giving me a way to actually take stuff that I found on somebody else's listing and make a version of it. So that's the thing about eBay. It's just like Sell Like This, but you can do it from Etsy if you have that crossless magic. So here is another one of his recent finds.
Oh yeah, this is fun. It's a tiki mug, and it's called Cthulhu. And Cthulhu.
This was such a weird looking thing.
It's actually two pieces. The top comes off. It's got a compartment in the head that you can put in dry ice and water, so smoke comes out of the eyes. It's really cool.
That's scary, but okay.
Pro Manor is in Vancouver and Toronto, and they had this mug custom made for their shop or their bar for a tiki event. So,
and we've listed it already. Just a day ago,
it sold for $130.
So we've listed, and we've had 5 views in the past 24 hours. So listing it at $129, and again, Rick paid $12.99 for this, and we did pick it up on.
Yeah, we had a 20% coupon. So
let's see where we're sitting there right now. So this is something else that he found.
Yes. Now this was actually sitting on the shelf. Sorry, it's hard to show this. It was sitting on the shelf like that. It had an elastic band around it. I thought, oh, that's kind of neat. It's like bent wood. I wonder what it does. And then I opened it up and I slipped it together. And it turned into this fantastic magazine holder.
There's a picture of it from the floor.
Yeah, I got we paid $7.49.
Yep. And sold on Etsy, $141.78. So again, something I wouldn't necessarily even think about looking at. Kind of, I mean,
you walked by it twice because it was folded tucked in on the shelf. It wasn't set up as a magazine rack.
Yeah, that's very true. I did walk by it. I think I probably did walk by it once or twice or 3 times or so, and just because you just don't expect all of the like to see something like that all the time when you're doing it. Now there is stuff that he finds sometimes too that I'm just like, what exactly is this? Now this is one. We were at a thrift store, and I'm like, I don't know. He picked this up, and he throws it at me. Here, put it over here. And I go, what is this? And I'm looking at this going, the Dillinger escape plan. It's sealed. It does not say what this is. He handed it to me, and I said, but what is it? Now, your response to me was, I don't know,
Yeah, I don't know, but I want it.
but it's sealed.
It's cute. I don't know, but I want it.
It's like
It's only
kind of creepy.
$8.
Kind of creepy, kind of like there's a giant eyeball.
It's actually a CD release with a bunch of other things inside it. I think there's like a keychain and other stuff.
It says there, Season of Mist.
Yeah,
And this is a
1501
limited edition
2000.
piece from 2000 and something. No, that's not Party Smasher Inc. And Season of Mist, which surprised us, actually had its own website. But when we were looking that up, so I was like, "But you found this somewhere." So we ended up buying this, and he ended up paying $8 US.
Yep.
For this, and we got it home, and we haven't listed it in a month because we still can't figure out what the hell it is.
Actually, no, I did find a live eBay listing of it opened.
Oh, did you?
And I think it was listed for 160.
So you never sent me that link, and we haven't
I
created
know.
a draft. So
I know. I
now
will
we
do
have
that
this
when
thing
we're
sitting here with the price
finished.
tag on it. Yeah, and it's music. It's a CD box.
Yeah, it's a CD, and it's got other things in the box, like a T-shirt and stuff.
And
yes,
then
it
there's
is
this.
a band.
I walked by this because I thought, oh, I don't know what that is.
Oh, I fell in love with this.
I walked by it.
This is like a brassy gold brown. It's indescribable. The lighting that you've got it in doesn't do it justice. It is a fantastic piece. Unfortunately, I didn't notice that
It's a fish.
I didn't notice that the tail had been broken off and re-glued. But aside from that, it's still a lovely piece. It also has some markings on the bottom that I thought were really cool. So Royal Gouda.
Yeah, no, it's a vase. Royal Gouda Conplazud.
Conplazud.
And you did pay $9.99 for
Yeah,
it.
there were some comps online for similar pieces by that or with that same marking, and they're in the $100 to $200 range. So
now the thing is, and this is just it, we always say to people, don't be afraid to also buy something that may be broken or fixed. We've shown you that over the years. We've shown you chipped things. We've shown you broken things. I mean, again, the Jesus with a broken toe still sold for hundreds of dollars with a broke off toe. Real big toe. So there's people who love this style, this manufacturer. And again, this is the kind of thing that if I'd seen it facing this way, so I think somebody actually saw it before I did and turned it around. Because if I saw that, I might have actually looked closer at it. Rick just got from that side. And yeah, it's hard to say because the light isn't giving it, it's almost a purpley kind of sheen to it.
Yeah, it is quite fantastic.
But that was Jesus. Yes, true. Well, that's interesting. Well, it says it looks like a hornet's nest. Kind of does. With the big fish on the side of it. So, but again, very interesting kind of thing that he's ended up.
It is Royal Gouda Holland pottery.
Somebody had bought it and sold it because there's a price tag piece down there. So maybe they got it at a thrift store. Maybe they got it at a garage sale. Maybe they got it at an antique market, and they decided to donate it. So
yeah, I will find comps for that if it kills me.
We ended up paying $7 for that. So again, something that really interesting. So Anne Marie says, I gotta say, I always feel better when I get feedback on higher priced items. That is so true. It's so wonderful to go,
yay!
They got it.
And they liked it.
It's a big thing. They got it. Thank God they got it. That's like, that's more stuff than you you're sometimes just going, please, somebody say you got it. Please say you picked it up. Please say you got it already. I'm just clicking through a couple of things here, Rick, just to get them out of my way so they're off my page.
No, it is not an urn for ashes.
No.
Heather's saying she's worried she's going to buy back all of this stuff that Bob donated.
Oh.
Hopefully he's with you when you shop.
Now, I will say, you know what happened? I actually have donated some toys and things like that back that I've had and I haven't sold them. I actually have made a marking on them in Sharpie on the
Yeah.
bottom. I call it my initial, but I will actually do.
Yeah, we used to have to do that with puzzles too.
Yeah, I had to do it with puzzles because we'd return puzzles after my mom had done them, and then I would buy them again. So I started marking underneath, like not like defacing. It's always on the, like if I had returned this, I would have put a little thing down on the bottom here and like highlighting marker or something like that. But it stopped me from buying stuff.
Something that can be removed, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, so when you do, you may get to be something like that. Now, sometimes what you pick up isn't isn't necessarily the greatest in the world, but this is something that you found that you wanted me to show you.
Oh yes, my little fishy decanter with the matching glasses.
I'm just gonna see if Doug needs letting out.
Okay. All right. So I think the point I want to make with this particular thing is that I saw this decanter on the shelf at the store. I thought that's cute. It is marked on the bottom. I think it's Kiev pottery, like Ukrainian. And then I was walking by the baggy wall and I saw, hey, they have the little cups. So I bought them both and I'm going to marry them together and hopefully sell them for some good money. I think that one of these sold recently for like 50. So I should be able to get at least 50 for this. Vodka shots. Yeah, okay.
No, he just wanted to say, why are you upstairs and he's downstairs?
Okay.
So your typical Tuesday.
So I just made the point about finding the fish on the shelf and then seeing the decanter or the little glasses on the baggy wall and marrying them together. I think I sent you a comp for that as well, but
possibly.
But it's like 50, 60 bucks.
So now we said brass, we said bells, and of course I've always talked about this. What else is he interested in beside brass and bells? Boobs! Boobs!
Sorry. Boobs. Sherry wanted me to show a cup.
There's a cup.
Here, make me big.
Here. Right.
Make me big. There's the little cup. They're kind of cute. They match the...
And there's two more cups.
The counter.
He finds sculptures and things like that. It's like, I'm not going to say it, but yes, it kind of looks a little bit like that.
Yeah, I tried to find the real sculpture this was based on, and I could not for the life of me. So I gave up doing the rabbit hole or down the rabbit hole research and decided to just list it with a price that I pulled out of my butt. So I think we took an offer of $125.
Yep, $125.
It was listed for $150, so we reduced the price by $25. And
everybody sees that.
Okay.
I didn't see that. I still saw boobs because he brought home boobs. Well,
you people have to pull your head out of your butt.
It doesn't even have to be brass. It can just be wood boobs.
Yes. The color is so much different when you take a picture of it in different light.
That is wild that is the same thing as that.
It's just the lighting.
That is so strange to see the difference.
But she is very heavy. This thing weighs about 6 pounds. So it's some type of hardwood. It is from Bali. It's Klungkun. I think I paid $5 for this. And of course, boobies.
Now, if you think that that's not heavy enough, why not get something made of concrete? Oh my God! I completely forgot that he had
Earth Mother. I threw this in the cart the second I saw it, and Craig wanted me to put it back. He said, "Why are you buying that? You should put that back. I don't want that in my house." I paid $25 $25.
$20.99.
$21 less 20%.
I
And
don't know
she
why.
is fantastic. I mean, she weighs like 40 pounds. It is concrete.
That's per boob.
It's hollow in the middle. But I don't know why. It's like I was compelled to buy her.
Yes, I remember that. I'm glad they didn't show my head. So this is just some of the things that he picks up.
But Craigie, don't you remember your award?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah, that lovely. My lovely award for third place in the Miss Bodybuilding contest.
Yes, and I think I said I bought it because the shoes reminded me of you.
And the third place probably too. Well, but again, this is the kind of thing. So I don't have issues now. It's like boobies. If you see them, I expect he's going to look them and they're going to come in the cart. Brass, I see that all the same time.
Yeah.
Bells, it's like I now pick up bells and walk over to him and go, bell. Like, so it's
nice
interesting.
In the cart.
Yeah, it's all stuff that he's looked at that he's starting to find his own niche into. If it starts with a B, he's looking at those things that start with a B.
Mm-hmm.
Now, then every once in a while, you'll come across something that is just a little strange. So we were at, strange in terms of we were at the Salvation Army going through some aisles. And as we're going through some of the aisles, we see a thing on the aisle that I actually picked up and handed to him. And I said, oh, this is kind of funky. I think it's a planter. And so he looked at it and he goes, it's not a planter. I said, oh, it's not, because it wouldn't hold water. It's kind of strange. And it's like, oh, God, look. There's two. I guess they're bookends or something like that. $2.99 each. And I went, I don't know. And I put them back on the shelves. He goes, you give me those. I want those. And I went, what the heck for? I don't understand. What do you want them for? And so what was the reason that you wanted them?
I just fell in love with them. They reminded me of Struck Tube in a way, but they don't have any markings on them whatsoever. They are fantastic. They
actually fit together.
Op art from the 70s.
I
fell in love with them. And then I did a search when I got home. And I found that they could be by an Israeli-Canadian artist named Kasso Elul. Ululu.
Does that look like what he picked up? Sure as heck does to me. Do you see the price of these? $995. That's literally.
I insisted on buying them.
Now, not only that, look at what these were listed on First Dibs.
And sold on First Dibs.
$7,000.
Now, none of the pieces that I've been able to find online that match have a signature or any maker's mark or, nothing. I have reached out to a couple of local galleries that deal with Kasso Elul, and I'm waiting to hear back what they think, whether these are truly by Kasso Elul or if they are something by Struck Tube. I don't know.
That was not peso. That was
we shall see.
Odd and quirky. He fell in love with me. Yes, that's true. But yeah, now I'm just curious.
People can't hear you when you're off screen, Craigie.
Oh, odd and quirky. Yes. It's not in pesos. That was actually Canadian dollars, the 7,900. But I'm just curious, like if you saw this for $2.99 sitting on a shelf with a green little stick that said $2.99 on it, would you pick this up? just a complete sort of
Is it like for downspouts?
like it doesn't. It, would you think of it as art? Would you think that you would actually be
Yeah,
able to? You
it's
should be.
brushed aluminum with
Well,
black
I would now.
material.
Carl said no. Yeah, it is metal. Yeah. Sherry says as long as I saw two, yes. But Elise is like, I would have thought IKEA. I would have when I saw two. So what
Yeah, if
got
it
you
were
on this
IKEA
is
and you did a search, it would have shown up as an IKEA product.
it probably would have shown up as an IKEA product. Because again, when I handed this to him, I literally thought it was I thought about like it being for a vase of some kind, and then
Or a
realized
pencil holder.
or a pencil holder for a desk or something like that. So again, this is just one. This is sort of his latest like version of the Oivatoika or the man that he's ended up picking up. I'm sure Mr. Bum might be worth thousands as well, but
Yes, of course.
at the end of the day, we're not really concerned about trying to get thousands from it if we can.
No, if I can get it attributed to Caso Elul, I will definitely market the hell out of it as Caso Elul.
So we're
I
going to
just don't
take our
want to say
time.
it's by him without having proof that it's by him.
Yeah, we're
In the
taking our
absence of
time
evidence,
on
there's
that.
nothing.
And again, he's contacted like 2 different galleries. One of them is given, I think one of them came back to you saying that we can't control that, or one of them came back to you and said, we're not sure or something.
We're not sure. It might be by this other artist.
Right. And the other
Right.
artist is only worth like 1,000 instead of 7,000.
Yeah.
So how, I don't know how we'll get rid of it. We may very well take that to a place that does consignment. So there's a place near us that is a really fancy place called Around the Block. And we may actually end up taking it to someplace like that to try and have them price and sell and let them decide whatever they want to sell it at.
Yeah.
But no, we never did find a gingham cow vacuum cover. That's just it. So Schweitzer says, I wouldn't have even registered that. Impressive. Yeah, there's the name. And Holly said, I thought it was office desk decor. That's exactly what was in my brain when I saw that.
It kind of reminds me of StruckTube stuff. But again, there's no online catalog for StruckTube that has that particular image in it. You do an image search using the images that I took, you get the 2 websites, First Dibs and Zigzag.
So it's now, again, let's keep things small, shall we? Why look for anything extremely large? Like, I walked both sides of this aisle and I said, that's enough. I'm ready to go. And what did you say?
I said, oh my God, that's a Neen camper. What about
this table?
That's a Neen camper. I knew it was Neen camper without even looking at the sticker.
That's a gigantic freaking table. That's Rick behind the table. This is the back of it. And there is the name. Nine Camper. And again, I would have, it's like when he said that, I'm looking at this going, it's huge. And he's going, yes, but it's Nine Camper. Now, what is it about Nine Camper? Like, because this is how you sold me on it. You didn't look anything up.
No, I basically, when we had our office redone, when I was at the advertising review board, the designer insured or had us buy Neen Camper furniture for our reception area. And the stuff was super expensive. It was like $4,000 for a chair, $2,000 for the coffee table, $1,000 for a side table.
Here is their current website for Neen Camper International. And just take a look. Why, look.
It's the opera
table. It's the opera table. And you can get it in different finishes, tubular base. And let's take a look at the price list for the opera table, shall we? The square coffee table in wood veneer is $2,040. $2,040. Somebody donated a $2,000 table.
I think they also let the kids,
like a dinner lap tray.
I think the kids may have painted on top of it as well. So
That's
we have to figure out what we're doing with the surface. If we're going to try to get that paint off, or if we're going to spray paint it ourselves. I'm having an idea that I might actually contact Neen Camper and see if they would consider doing a refinish on it.
That's actually, you never know. And again, that is the table. That's what it's supposed to look like. And you can see what somebody's primed it or whatever and done this to. And I was like, okay, $2,000 in wood veneer. And there's one that sold there's around the block. That's the place we were thinking about taking it. And they got one of those for $400 for the side table. Just the side table. No, it's actually not vintage. Nine Camper is still making stuff to this day.
You could buy the opera table today for the $2,040.
It is a foo-foo Canadian designer. It is one of the big things that
they're high end. All of the designers, when they're doing new office buildings, will suggest that Neen Camper be added to the mix of furniture.
Like, this is the kind of stuff. It's like high end IKEA.
Think frou-frou.
Like tables, credenzas, and accessories of 2024. There's all the different things on them. There's the different sizes, and then I don't know where the price tag is when you go to some of the things, but you might have to. Oh, there's the price tags for stuff right there. So a 32-inch dining table starts at $2,100 in veneer. So we're talking $2,000 for like a table. So, and how much did we pay for this, Rick?
It was $10.49 less 20%.
Yeah, it wasn't
like $8.
But yeah, $10.49 less 20%. So $10 Canadian, $7 US, $6 US now. So that was well worth it. I said, well, what we probably will end up doing is at the end of the day, if we do nothing to it, this will go in a max sold auction for us as a featured max sold item.
Yeah.
Or we may see about, as he said right now, getting that and stripping it down. We actually had it out on our deck because it is 44 inches by 44 inches.
It's now inside because of the rain and the snow.
And yeah, so we put it in our storage unit. So right now it's sitting in our storage unit. We didn't want to take the legs off of it or anything like that. We also thought about just if they can't finish it, I was thinking about refinishing it ourselves, like with a spray, like a black gloss or something like that. Because the whole thing about that is going to be the Nine Camper name is going to get money. And if we got $8 invested in it and had to invest another $15, $20 in a spray paint, then we got a $20 investment. If it goes for $20, oh well. If it goes for $200, yay. It's going to be the equivalent of that Christmas tree that we had that we said, look, we got a Christmas tree for $4, and it got $190 bid on it. So that's one of the things that we love about Max Sold is especially designer things like that can get really, really strong interest. So we probably, I don't know if we would want to decoupage the top. I think
I'm going to see how well we can get the paint off the surface because if it was a wood veneer, it might come off.
Yeah, as I say, if we were keeping it, it would be a different story. But we're not planning on keeping it. It is too damn big for our house. So we're just gonna say that's it. So that's a bunch of the stuff that we're joking. No, you know what? If we were keeping it, I would think about doing that. And I just want to.
It's the 1 hour mark,
and I just want to say it's amazing. Thank you again to everybody who's been here. I got one more thing to show you, which is a find of mine that I can't let Rick have.
I forgot all about it.
You can't have all of the glory. I'm going to show you a little glory find from mine. That sounded bad, but but yeah. So look up the different things. See if you can find anything there. Hopefully, you may have even got some ideas on stuff that you wouldn't have thought about looking at before. Like if you did see something that was just as simple as this, and you might go, "Wow, I think I'll grab that," or something like this that you just love for whatever reason you love it. Every once in a while, you can get lucky. So this week, I had to take Rick or that, every once in a while you have to get lucky. And I had to actually take Rick to get to see his doctor for a regular doctor's appointment. And I had to drop him off. And I had to figure out how to kill 45 minutes between dropping him off and finish. Well, guess what's close to his doctor's office? A Salvation Army. So I decided I'm just going to drive over to the Salvation Army. Drove into the Salvation Army. Got in the door. And as I got in the door, I literally was like not even 30 seconds in. And there's a big, huge cart with one of the lovely ladies that works at the Salvation Army. And she had a big painting stuck on the cart, flat on top of the cart, and a couple of other paintings stuck on top of that. And she was blocking the aisle. So I actually, instead of just like, if she'd been 5 more feet further, the aisle would have been clear and I probably would have walked right straight through, but I couldn't because she's blocking the aisle. So I went, "Hi, how are you today?" She said, "Fine." And I looked down at the painting, and on top of the paintings, there's a little plastic case. And it's coming out to their special area for their plastic case. And this is the little plastic case that I saw sitting on the table on top of some paintings that she was just literally bringing out. And I said, "Oh, what's that?" And she said, "Oh, Batman, Supermans, all sorts of toys." And so I had a $39 price tag, which I took off. Yeah, it was a $39 price tag. And I just went, "Oh, okay, I'm going to open it up." And I opened it up and I saw that and I closed it up and I said, "I'm taking this." I didn't look any further at it. But yes, it's actually vintage 1970s Star Wars figures. 24 of them. 2 levels of figures, including some stands, some of the harder to find figures. Unfortunately, like Luke does not have his actual lightsaber in him, but that's the original Luke.
Darth doesn't have his lightsaber.
But it's got a Boba Fett, and he alone sells for more than the price of this entire thing. So, yeah, Darth is sitting in here, but he's got his cape, but he doesn't have his lightsaber.
But Greg was so thankful I had a doctor's appointment.
And so then he called me and he went, "Oh, I'm already done." And I said, "I'm buying something." And something, but he goes, "Take your time." So I got me, yes, my own little start the car, drop the mic. Oh my God, yeah, Carl, that is just it. It's my childhood too. Someone's mom donated it, and yes, his 50-year-old son will be having a heart attack. But yeah, so again, even though it was $39.99, I do know a little bit about it. But even if you didn't, and you saw a case like this, and it was filled with these, all you need to do is actually look at one of the figures and see the dates on the figure, and the date on the figure will show you 1979, 77, 80. As opposed to the newer versions. The newer versions don't look the same as this either. So, but yeah, that's my fab find. So I could make Rick a little bit jealous when he's bringing home potentially $5,000 to $7,000 bookends. So
fingers crossed.
Thanks so much to everyone for joining us here for our little tales of
reluctancy.
Why aren't you going? Of Rick, the reluctant thrifter. And you'll realize that, Rick, are you as reluctant now as you used to be?
Only when I don't find things.
No, what you're reluctant is on your ability to not smash your cart into people in the aisles.
Oh, yes.
Because that's probably the...
The second that part of my brain dies,
yes, he just walks up to me. I said today, "Oh, are you done your aisles yet?" And he goes, "No." And we use the Price is Right phrase. It's like, "Punch a bunch." Want to punch a bunch? And it's like, okay. Or something that rhymes with that, but we won't go any further. So yeah, that's the only thing that frustrates you. But you did, even today, you found stuff today that you were like, "Yay!"
Yeah,
right?
I found some really nice stuff today. So, I don't know why we didn't put it in the show, but
it's in the Thrift It or Throw It. That's going to be coming up when we get to that in January. So we got one show left now between now and the new year. That'll be our show next Tuesday, and it is our Tuesday night sort of year-end recap. We're going to show you some of our favorite finds over the past year. Hopefully, we'll have a strike that ends by that time. For those of us who are in Canada. crossing our fingers because it is killing a lot of people who are in the reselling world. We're going to be putting a post up shortly about the cross-border shipping chaos as well. So do take a look for that. Those of you who are Kennel Club members, we're actually doing a little post on that coming up soon. And next week as well, we're going to talk about how we're going to be looking at 2025 because we're going to be making some changes on how we do things on the channel, what you can look for, what we're hoping to provide you as better ways for you to build your reselling journey and hopefully make some more extra money and to keep putting the F
for fun.
For fun. In thrifting.
Otherwise, it's just threading.
Otherwise, it's just threading. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us here on Tuesday. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will see you again next Tuesday.
I've got this award for you.
No, it's fragile. It's a major award. It's not a major award. It's third place.